Hello friends, this is Rahul Magan here as a Chief Executive Officer of Treasury Consulting LLP, and today we would be covering a dedicated video about Treasury Management System. In this we are covering a video on Order Management System, which is shortly known as EMS. As you very well understand that in a TMS there are two O's. One is Order Management System, one is Execution Management System. But this video would be targeting about Order Management System. Now, what do you mean by order management system is, here we are going to take an example of a biggest IT company in India, which is Cognizant Technologies Private Limited. Now, before moving further, let me stress you a fact that Treasury is now integrating with the technologies. Of course, in India, this is not the scene. In India, people are far away from the technology. They are forcibly in India. The meaning of the technology is only Paytm. After Paytm, there is no meaning of technologies. But Treasury function is slowly integrating with the technology across the globe, like Europe, like US. They are integrating with each other, and Treasury management system is playing a very important role in that regards. So when it comes to a Treasury management system, these Treasury management system currently basically have we already have several videos about Murex. We have videos about Calypso. In this we are covering up a video which is OMS, Order Management System. Now let's take a company which is Cognizant Technologies Private Limited, a company with a top line of $19 billion, which is not a small top line, which means that approximately you are earning $1.6 billion per month as a receivable across the globe. Now they have a big treasury function because they have an exposure to almost every currency. You name the currency and Cognizant is having exposure in that, which is Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar, Canadian dollar, Euro dollar, GBP dollar, Japanese yen, and Australian dollar, your Swiss franc, Singapore dollar, your Korean won, I would say Indian rupee, Philippines peso. They would have exposure in almost everything, which is Mexican peso, and everywhere. Now they are hedging this $19 billion of a revenue. Now this is not a $19 billion, this is actually different currencies. Some part would be Australian dollar, some part would be New Zealand dollar, some part would be Canadian dollar, so different currencies. One way of dealing with to take a hedge position. Now here we are not selling either it is a forward or it is an option or it is a swap, except swap. You are doing telephonically, which generally I used to do also when I was acting as a treasurer for American company and with SCL. So we used to do it on a phone, and this is a very phenomenal feature which we have today. Majority of the dealings is happening on the phone. So how exactly it is happening? There is a buy side, there is a sell side person. Now this is a sell side person. Now that sell side person would like to talk about a buy side person. Who is a buy side person? Which is a bank. Right now they wanted to sell it up. Now how it would happen is, now this way you have a feeder could be Thomson Reuters and Bloomberg. There's somebody else to whom you are talking. If you are here as a sell side person, somebody else you are talking who is a buy side person, which is a bank. He's also have a feeder. It might possible that you have Thomson Reuters and he's having Bloomberg, or you have Bloomberg, he also have a Bloomberg. So such kind of things are there. But there are companies like L&T, Cognizant, Reliance Industries Limited, perfect example. They have a very big ticket size. Cognizant do not sell $2,000, $3,000. They have a big ticket size, $500 million, $200 million, $100 million. That kind of positions which they are taking. And if they are taking that kind of position, even the 1 basis point, which is the smallest tick in the I would say in a foreign exchange market, this matters in $100 million. So what they are going to do, they would have feeders, which is, it could be Reuters or it could be Bloomberg. Let me write here. First of all, they are the sell side, and they are having access to feeders, which is Reuters or it could be Bloomberg. Take an example of a Reuters for a simplicity purpose. Now since they have Reuters, now what it would happen that they also would have our OMS, which is Order Management System. There are variety of order management system we have across the globe. Like Reuters also have their own order management system, which is known as FXall, a company which was bought up by Thomson Reuters it FXall. I personally saw the order management system of FXall number of times in Singapore. Now this order management system will help you to save even our smallest. This order management system will help you to save even our smallest bips. Now what do you mean? What do you mean by that? This helps you to save even our smallest bips. Bips like, assuming Cognizant wanted to sell 100 million Australian dollars in dollars, and suppose the present rate is going 0.7452. If they would do on the phone, it might possible that they would settle somewhere around 0.7447, or it could be 0.7450, or it could be 0.7448, roughly like that. 3 or 4 bips here and there. 3 or bips, one basis point is 0.0001, or it could also be tell as 0.01%. Right? Now on a $100 million deal, this is a big amount. If we take this example on a buy side, which is Reliance Industries Limited, who is on the buy side, who is the actual importer of an oil, and they wanted to do $100 million of oil, say $500 million of oil, and if Indian rupee is trading at 64.50, say 5920, and suppose they bought it at 64.59221, apparently it looks like what? This is nothing. This is less than a paisa, right? But actually this will cost Reliance Industries Limited. This is a question of more than a crore for Reliance Industries Limited, which is a salary of a director level person in Reliance for a complete year. So they would have an order management system. Predominantly order management system serving the bid side, but now they have started taking the sell side also. To whom we are talking on the other side, we use a very technical term, and that technical term is known as the brokers. Now Cognizant, which is a sell side trader, Reliance Industries Limited, which is a buy side trader, they will put up a order in the OMS, order management system. OMS would have 5 things, which is order generation, compliance, the next is the execution, the settlement support, and the liquidity support. This is a very important thing which we need to learn. Now order generation means it should give you a capacity to generate an order. Now it should have a list of all the brokers. Now who all the brokers? Since the board size is limited, so I have taken the key banks like ANZ, Westpac, Deutsche Bank, JP Morgan Chase, Standard Chartered, SDFC, UBS, Barclays, Commonwealth Bank of Australia, National Australian Bank, and the list is very long. You might take an example of DBS Singapore, State Bank of India, DBS Singapore, Santander, Bank of New Zealand, Westpac. The list is pretty long. Once you will open the order management system, you will see the name of all the banks. So suppose you wanted to sell $100 million and you wanted to be pretty precise. You want that as soon as it will hit, even there should not be a change of 1 bips here and there. So you are saying that if today Australian dollar spot rate is quoting at 0.7452, and you think that this is the right time to take a position, sell Australian dollar and buy dollars, so you will take a position here 0.7452 exact. And here you have list of all the brokers, like both Reuters have their order management system, which is FXall. They have FlexTrade. Bloomberg would have an order management system. Bloomberg would have an execution management system also, which is, if I'm not wrong, EAESMX. This is something which is a RIC of their execution management system, Bloomberg. That of course we are going to be covered once the appropriate time would come. So all have their system. Then it will support the compliance. The biggest example of the compliance is that either you are able to do, take an example, sitting in India, it's not very conducive to deal in Russian ruble, or there are many non-deliverable currencies which are not very conducive in nature, like there are very African currencies which are not very conducive in nature. Take an example of Bharti Airtel, which is the largest telecom player we have in India after Vodafone, if I'm not wrong. I apologize in case the rankings are first to second, but Bharti and Vodafone are number 1 and number 2 in the race as of now. Now they have a big exposure in Africa because of their acquisition which they did in the Zaire. Because of this, a good quantity of receivable which is coming from here, and they need to hedge this in either in the Indian rupee or maybe in the dollar terms. That is their call how they are taking it. So here the order management system will talk about the compliance, like which all need to do. Take an example of second phase of compliance, which is MiFID second, which is coming. I think 222 days, something like is left currently for MiFID second, because 3rd January 2018 MiFID second is coming. And MiFID second once come, it's going to change the face of a treasury function, at least in Europe and the US, not in India, because Indian people really not wish to learn about MiFID, but we will cover a lot of videos about MiFID. It will help you to execute the order. As soon as it will come here, the orders will get executed. It will help you the settlement support also, like of course Cognizant will transfer the 100 million Australian dollars, and on the other hand they will get approximately 74.52 million American dollars. And fifth is the liquidity support. Cognizant should not be worried about the liquidity support, but at least they should understand the liquidity support. The reason here is, since we are talking about FXall, which is a product of Reuters, and Reuters is nothing but our best feeder we has as of now, a web-based best feeder. Now this feeder, now FXall has been fed up by Thomson Reuters. If you talk about the Bloomberg, then it would have been fed up by the Bloomberg, right? So that is not a problem. But there are certain times we have the prop feeders also, like MT4. So you have OMS which is supported by MT4. In fact, MT4 which is MetaTrader 4, MT5 which is MetaTrader 5. This in itself is a kind of OMS, which is order management systems. So what would happen? A company should aware about the liquidity support, because the company who is so cautious about even 1 basis point, and assuming without naming, there are a lot of liquidity support providers without naming. We have multiple liquidity support providers whose rates are not the actual market rates. They are delayed by 5 seconds or 7 seconds. And you know that in the G7 currencies like Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar, GBP, Euro, even a 1 second delay matters. So if you are cautious about 1 bp, so you should understand from where the liquidity is coming. From liquidity, you should understand that what your system is supporting. Is your system supporting G7 currencies, or is your system supporting Asian currencies, or both? Another thing which is actually the functionality of EMS, which is execution management system, but slowly this functionality is coming up in the OMS, which is tight bid-ask spread, which means that we are talking about Cognizant, and Cognizant is an American company, and you know the relationship between US and Mexico. They are having good exposure in Mexico as well, right? Now assuming the Mexican entity has been served by a Swiss entity, assuming, and the Swiss entity wanted to take up a position in the Mexican peso. So Swiss entity is placing up an order CHF to MXN. Now the point is, this is not a highly tradable currency, because CHF is not often converted into MXN. So now OMSs are getting a functionality whereby what OMS is doing, OMS will give you option, and they will give you option that in which the bid-ask spread would be tightened. So they will tell you that you divide this into 2 parts, which is CHF to dollar, Swiss franc to dollar. We should not worry about. We know that this is the most tradable currency pair, which is also known as volatility gauge. And then they will tell you another thing, which is dollar to Mexican peso, MXN. So ultimately you are reaching at the same place. This functionality is currently with the EMS, which is execution management system, but they wanted to copy to your to OMS also. Because long ago there was a big difference between order management system and execution management system, but now the complexity is rising. Treasury world is moving towards technology, so there is a very hairline difference between EMS and OMS now. Of course, our endeavor is that we are going to be sharing a video on the OMS also. So EMS also. Nowadays the latest OMS are sharing about the bid-ask spread also. Tight bid-ask spread also. So that they will make sure that you will not lose much money, because if you put an order to CHF to Mexican, that there is no taker here in the market. So this is all about order management system, which is slowly picking up in India, but this will surely going to take a lot of time. But if you're talking about the global treasury centers like US, like London, like Luxembourg, in Frankfurt, like Singapore, you will get to know that they are picking up at a very faster pace. And I might not be surprised that over the period of the time, probably 5 years down the line or 7 years down the line, these so-called auto management system would be able to integrate themselves with EMS, which is execution management system, and at the same time you would be able to talk with more than 2000 brokers. Now these banks are shortly known as brokers. You can have brokers also. You are able to talk with 2000 brokers regarding the execution of your deal. This was the purpose of the video, is just to introduce you that what exactly the OMS stands at, how OMS is changing, and of course there are many videos pertaining to OMS which we are going to take up, in which we are going to go one by one. Like we talk about compliance, we talk about settlement, we talk about execution, and many other things. We would like to thank you very much, and we are extremely pleased to share that our YouTube channel is heading towards 400 videos. Hopefully in the next 30 days we would be able to cross the benchmark of 400 videos, which currently we have 375, and hopefully. We are also very pleased to share that we have started the Murex trainings across the globe, and currently we are running batches in Singapore, Malaysia, India and Australia. In case you have any requirement to MX3 and Calypso, you are always welcome to contact us. Our number is right here. Our website is www.treasuryconsulting.in. Our mobile is 9899242978. My Skype ID is Rahul5327. Email is rahul.magan@treasuryconsulting.in. I also would like to tell you that the company is an endeavor to set up a subsidiary in Singapore, and in that regards we will offer the implementation as well as the consulting of capital market technologies, which cover Murex, Calypso and lot of other technologies. We also would like to appraise you that the fixed income platform, which would be the largest fixed income platform in this globe, which will have an endeavor to value $360 trillion of a derivative instrument, is already, the designing of that fixed income platform has already started. And hopefully, if everything will go well, if we are able to meet the timeline by June 2018, we would be able to launch this in the public domain, and we are expecting that designing to end up in 2018. Talks are going on. Hopefully we will have some OMS or EMS capabilities there. We thank you very much. In case of any requirement, you can connect with us. Thank you and have a wonderful time.